Hello, my name is Joseph Terry. My proposal plan is about requesting funding from the Keller City Council for the renovation and development of Barksdale Park. The issue this park faces in the community is a lack of development leading to broken down and outdated park equipment. This park is surrounded by a large neighborhood that has many families, and around the park area, there is a walking trail that loops around the pond where some people will go down to fish at. The lack of development for the playground leaves much to be desired for parents and their children. Without having an attractive and engaging playground that is free of trash, many families avoid the playground and, as a result, tend not to take their families outside as often due to the lack of equipment for their children to use. Because these families do not have a clean and engaging playground for their kids to go to, the lack of activity helps lead to the lack of exercise and activeness in young kids. The Trust for Public Land Group states that a welcoming and well-funded park increases physical activity in adults and kids simply by just being close by. Few people are ever walking the trails around Barksdale nowadays since they feel their area is lacking in development. My goal from this presentation is to request funding for the park to develop further and renew Barksdale Park to further encourage families and their children to be more active in their physical health. By developing the park with a fresh new look, I hope to attract more people to their community park and engage with one another to build on their activity in the neighborhood. With funding for this revitalization program, we will work with park contractors and designers to create a park that is both attractive and engaging for families to gather. There is also a larger open field right next to the playground that seems to be a good place for a small sports field where other activities and games can be held. The overall goal of this project is to encourage community members to be more engaged with their physical health by being active in a community park and hopefully by being around their neighbors to also bond as a community. Some threats that can hold back the development of this park is the lack of funding and zoning issues that could arise from the city. If these two issues are not solved, then we will not be able to develop the local park and ongoing health issues and lack of community engagement will continue. However, if we can acquire funding and are given permittance from zoning regulations to start constructing the new park, some issues may still come up. Slow development being the main issue if we cannot find contractors who are willing to accept the job and start construction. The lack of community engagement after the park is built will also be a challenge for this project since the whole action can be seen as a waste of time and money if no one in the neighborhood comes to the park once it's open. However, I believe that with enough funding and proper planning, we can make this community park much more engaging and motivate community members to be more active in their participation. For this budget proposal, we are asking for a total of $2.5 million. Looking at budgeting from Weatherford, Texas, they scaled their park development for an area about the same size as Barksdale to be just under $700,000. So we're requesting a bit more for redundancy's sake, just on the actual development of the park. We're requesting roughly $400,000 annually for ongoing employment for park staff, and we are willing to examine other employment costs after some time of the park being open and attended. For contractors, for contracts, with builders and companies to design and draft the park plans, we're looking for $700,000. And for announcement and newsletters for the park being under construction and when it opens, we will allocate about $600 for publicity of the event. Timeline-wise, we plan for designing and drafting to take between 3 to 4 months, and for the actual construction of the park to take between 8 to 12 months for full development. In conclusion, the need for a revamped and redeveloped public park in the Barksdale community is the end goal of promoting better outdoor activity and public health by encouraging families and kids to play outside more often, while also attempting to get neighbors to connect more often by providing a communal space for them to meet and gather. We are seeking a completion time for over a year and a half for full design and development of the park on a budget of $2.5 million. If funding or contracts and development fall through, the harm in an underdeveloped community park will continue to prolong and affect the physical health of community members along with disrupting community involvement. Thank you.